All right, everybody. Calm it down. Sit down if you haven't already. All right. So, a couple quick announcements. There are now drinks in the back that are very refreshing. We're having lunch at 1:30. So don't worry if you didn't eat yet. We're gonna eat. I promise. It's gonna happen at 1:30. All right, everybody, give it up for Soleil. Woo!
Hello. Okay. So hi, welcome. I don't know if you can hear me. I was sitting before here and I couldn't really listen to that. Is the force or what is it? Shall I go on? Okay. Hi again. I work in Mozilla. I am an apps engineer there. But before that, I used to work in an agency in London with this guy over here. I was a creative technologist, so we were doing amazing things and cool stuff. Our goal there was to basically do mind-blowing stuff. So whenever there was a new API, we would come up with some amazing use for that API, so that a client would come to us and say, make something amazing. And we would do something amazing, and they would get insane amounts of traffic to the website, and they would get more clients, or they would get more popular, or the campaign would be amazing. Or when we didn't have client work, we would come up with something cool, amazing for our website, so that we would get traffic, and then we would get more clients. And that's how advertising works, in a quick sentence. And that's where I started to use a bit of Node for Rails. I had been toying with Node before, on and off, but it wasn't really serious stuff. In this place, we were using Python for server, like it was Google App Engine, so that the server wouldn't go down when it was this sudden influx of traffic. It was lots of front-end JavaScript. There was some Java, some bits of Flash, but basically it was JavaScript. For all the interactions, because it was supposed to be about interacting, it wasn't just websites showing data, it was about building experiences. There was lots of Socket.io. So it was Socket.io and Node, and I was like, well, this Node thing can't really work. I can just use JavaScript for everything. But there was an issue, or that's what I felt. I was looking at my code and I was like, okay, I've been programming for years, like, I don't know, many years. I've been using Python, Pascal, PHP, C, and there's something here that doesn't really feel right, but I don't know exactly what it is. And it was really hard to find out what it was, because in that environment, I like to think that we were proficient in finding solutions in time, but that doesn't mean that we were proficient in writing perfect code. There wasn't time for writing perfect code, and that code had to work as it should, but in time, and when the campaign finishes, you just throw it away or it just goes away. And I was feeling a bit guilty about that as well, because I had this massive guilt that we were building things that only worked in WebKit browsers. And I was like, I don't want to be contributing to this thing. I was feeling really bad, so that's why I joined Mozilla. And then I found that the problem was that I had the worst habits with Node.js, but it was really hard to find what it was. So I went to my first week in Mozilla. I was onboarding in Montague. So I was there after a flight of 10 hours. I was so jet lagged. I just checked into the hotel and just connected to the internet to send an email to my mom. Hey mom, I'm okay, I'm safe. And I got this message from my new teammate, Jen. Hey, are you ready for dinner? And I was like, oh Jesus. I look at myself in the mirror and I was like, it's okay, it's 6 p.m., it's not 2 a.m. So I just go downstairs and I was like, I didn't know how she looked like. So like, but obviously, if there's one person waiting for you in a parking lot in a Mountain View hotel at 6 p.m. on a Sunday, it has to be her, right? So she was like, yeah, let's go and have dinner because it's my birthday. And I want to have a nice dinner. It's like, okay, so let's do this thing. So we went to Castro Street, which is like the street in Mountain View. There's nothing else. There's only a place where you have restaurants. And there's this Moroccan restaurant. And we sit down and we start discussing whether that was real Moroccan stuff. Is that real or is it fake? Because for me, I mean, I'm European, I'm from Spain. I've tasted things that seem Moroccan, and that thing wasn't Moroccan to me. But there was this discussion, and this was shared. And she's a philosopher. She's not a computer science person. She likes the philosophies. So we went from that Moroccan food true false discussion to that place where, I mean, I can't really remember, but I remember because there was jet lag and there was wine. But there was this discussion where she was telling me, I'm going to build this node module, and it's going to be helping me write this distributed block system. And because it's going to be generic enough, I'll be able to build other things with this. It doesn't necessarily need to be a block. At that point, I think it was 10 a.m., it was 2 or 3 or something in my time, and I was like, sure, but I was like, I'm not sure if I can handle this. If the whole week's going to be like this, I'm not sure I'm going to survive this. So the first thing I had to do in Mozilla was to port one of my Android apps to something that looked like, something that was like the web. And WebRTC was coming to Firefox by then, so I thought, well, it was a good idea to port one of my apps. So I had something called Nostalgia, which is an Android app that takes your camera input and it converts them into kind of retro looking images. So I ported it with web, and every time I did something huge, like add a new feature, Jen would have a look at the code and review that. And so the first thing she kept saying was, just make everything into a node module. And I was like, why? I mean, I generally just do libraries. What's the point of the modules? But she was like, oh, just turn that thing into a node module. And I was like, why should we do this thing? And she kept insisting. At some point, it was kind of like the recurring job. We were like, how would you solve this thing? Oh, just made a node module. And it was funny, but like something was sinking on my thinking. And so this is her cat. This is amazing. So actually, she's in the background holding the cat. So we like to think this is what the cat looks like when the cat looks at comma first JavaScript. So she was really insistent in me adhering to proper node style code. And I didn't understand why. But with time, I understood that was why my node code felt weird and didn't feel right to me. Like, for example, she was really, really insisting in me using standard callback signature, not just whatever I thought, but just use error and then result every time. And I was like, but why should I do this thing? I mean, it's just a callback. It's not even a promise. It's just a callback. Why are you so against this thing? And she was like, just use the standard. That's the standard node thing. Something else that was, what was that? Basically, she was really, really annoying. But she was so annoying that I ended up doing the right thing. And it was using standard modules and things. And the other thing that she was really insisting was that I had to be simplifying my code in general. Like, for example, the case with promises and callbacks. She's not, I don't think she really likes promises. I'm not sure I've made up my mind yet. But most of the times, she's like, if you're in callback hell, you're doing it conceptually wrong. Maybe you need to simplify your code or rethink it in a different way. So often I've tried to bring promises to my library, and to my code. So I just bring a library of promises, and as I adjust the code so it works with promises, I end up realizing that I don't really need the library, and I don't need promises. I just throw them away again. So I've tried several times. I never got to put them inside my code. The other thing that she's really teaching me good lessons about is about interface. Like, we usually have this obsession with making things look good and making them look super amazing, but actually the problem is that you have this super nice website that looks good, but no one wants to use it because it's annoying, and you have blocks and obstacles every time you want to do something, so you just give up. The user goes away, and no one uses your website, despite it being super pretty. So for example, one thing that we built kind of accidentally was this chat called Meet Spaces. I don't know if you've heard about that. But at the beginning, we had login screens, you had to sign up, you had to accept things, and just that was just destroying the whole workflow. So what we did was like, make sure that it was easy to join, that it was easy to enjoy that, and that you could be sending messages quickly, and then the best thing is that because the source was open source, we got pull requests with people that wanted to make it easy. But we made sure that it was working first. So that's another important lesson. And then this is my best anecdote. When I started Mozilla, I hardly used modules from other people. Like, I didn't really know how NPM worked. I didn't know what package.json really was for. And when I used code from other people, I copied and pasted the code into my source code. And I was so happy about that. Okay, what's the problem? We just use it required locally. It's normal. So one of the things that she told me is like, it's okay to use code from other people. It's perfectly fine. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every time. And you don't need to feel ashamed of doing that. Actually, it's kind of intelligent to just pick the best tool. If the best tool really exists, why spend time rebuilding that? And then she was presenting at Real-Time Conf past October, I think. So I was watching the stream because she was going to introduce our chat spaces and all the things that she had been building on the past months. So I think I stayed for a while until she presented, and then Max Altman, who's sitting there, he gave me a very good lesson as well. He was like, you don't need to look inside the code, inside the modules. You just need to have modules that work. If they don't work, you replace them with other modules, or you fix them. But you just need to treat these modules as boxes. If they don't work, you disconnect that box, connect another one, and that's it. And that was like really enlightening because I was really worried about what's in the boxes. And I was like, well, if you use modules, I think someone told that before, if you use modules that are small enough, you just need to find the ones that are good enough for that and replace them as you see fit. And one thing that's really good for this is having tests. The way that Jen works, and that's another good lesson, she always writes the tests first without having any UI or anything. Writes the test first, so she defines the API, make sure that it's usable, that it's something intuitive, and it's not like, that it feels right. So once she's got the API defined and the tests are passing, she starts building the UI or something, but she always has this module that does logic, and then there's everything else, which is UI or front-end, that's another module. So everything's separated. And that's how she was reusing that same blog module that she was going to use for distributed blogging, ended up being a thing for distributed reviews of places, kind of Foursquare, but she also used that thing for building a chat. That's because it was all about messages and kind of like delegation and federation. And then this was fun as well, because I heard about Browserify in my first week in Mozilla, but it was so intense, I just threw it away. I just bookmarked and forgot about this Browserify tool. Like, it was so much cool stuff, I couldn't really handle all of that. So, but then I came to my JSConf EU project, and I wanted to do something huge. So I was like, I'm going to build a player, a music player in the browser, and it's going to be running my web audio-based virtual instruments that were based off modules. So each instrument was using other modules. And then those instruments will have UI built with web components that require other web components. So that more requires more dependencies. And all of that will control the slideshow. And that would also be controlled by a MIDI interface that will have my right, and that MIDI interface would be communicating with Open Sound Control through UDP with the node server that was running here. Obviously, all of that is complex, and doing that with just script tags would have been insane. So I was like, oh my god, I have to build this crazy thing I signed up for, because I sent this proposal and they have accepted that, and I was just like running in panic, and she was like, oh, just use Browserify for this. I was like, oh, yeah, I could use this thing. So I used that thing, and that was a success story for Browserify. And some story that I also like from this is I actually ended extracting up modules from my project, and I ended up using it in other projects. So I like to think that if I am using it, maybe more people is benefiting from this. So because you start using modules, you are forcing yourself to work in a decoupled way. So that's always good. And finally, the last thing, and this is not something that she specifically taught me, but is that by using Node, you're making your code multi-platform. Before I used Node for almost everything, I would just have like a build script built with Python that would concatenate JavaScript files and then would call the Closure compiler, which is a Java thing, locally, or using the required library, which is a pain in the ass to install in Mac, I would call the Google Closure web service and then get the code compiled if it was okay. So I mean, nowadays we're replacing all of that with Uglify or Gulp, Grant, and that makes it so much easier for other people to contribute to our project, because otherwise they can't run the bash script or the make thing or whatever, and they can't contribute because they can't modify the code and send us a patch. So if you use Node for your build script, you're making your code more usable by more people. And Mozilla, that's really important, because we can say, oh, that's only working in Mac. We have to make sure that it works in Windows and Linux as well. So this is a way to make sure that it works. So conclusions is that non-modularity is awesome, but it's hard to get. So if you don't get it at the first time, it's perfectly fine. I mean, I don't think I'm silly or stupid. It took me a while to get it, and I'm totally okay with saying that it takes a while. But if you can find a mentor that can guide you around and push you and be annoying and be insistent and be extremely annoying, you should find one, because I will help you get it first or earlier. Or you could also hang on the proper channels, like maybe the Node IRC channel, or follow interesting people from the Node community in Twitter or blogs, or go to user groups like the London Node user groups are a good place to hang with people that know Node. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment. Just do things and break things and just test so that you don't get yourself into a mess. And publish your code, because if it's good, people are going to use it. If it's not good, people are going to send you PRs and help you with that. So that's basically what Jen told me. Well, she also told me about things, but you can ask me. And that was it, basically. Thanks. Wait there. I hope I depicted it.
Yeah. And then you felt guilty.
Yeah, I felt